Have you ever imagined reading a book so powerful that its pages hold the secrets of the universe, the key to eternal life, and the power over destiny? According to an ancient Egyptian legend, this book indeed exists. Known as the Book of Thoth, it is said to have been written by the very god of wisdom and magic. Over the centuries, this mysterious text has inspired occultists, secret societies, and even influenced the creation of the tarot. But what truth lies behind this ancient legend? Join us as we explore the mysteries and influences of this work that has spanned generations. The legend of the Book of Thoth is shrouded in mystery and fascination, considered one of the greatest esoteric relics of antiquity. Supposedly, it was written by the god Thoth himself, the patron of writing, wisdom, and magic in ancient Egypt. Some believe the book contains secrets about the workings of the universe, with spells and magic capable of granting supernatural powers to those who read it, such as the ability to speak with animals and foresee the future. The myth surrounding this book sustains the idea that it holds the essence of hidden knowledge, inaccessible to ordinary human minds. Thoth, the Egyptian deity to whom the book is attributed, was deeply revered by the Egyptians. He was responsible for recording the decisions of the gods and maintaining cosmic balance. Furthermore, Thoth was the god of writing, known for creating hieroglyphs, a writing system used to record sacred and historical events. The importance of this god in Egyptian culture adds even more weight to the legend of the Book of Thoth, as he symbolizes the origin of all sacred knowledge. The exact origin of the Book of Thoth is uncertain. Some legends suggest it was created more than 5,000 years ago, while others claim the book dates back to times even earlier than the construction of the Great Pyramids. If the book truly existed, it would have been written on papyrus or engraved on golden tablets, according to some versions. Regardless, the physical existence of this book continues to be a subject of intense debate among scholars and mystics. The influence of the legend of the Book of Thoth extended beyond the borders of ancient Egypt. Over time, the narrative about this mysterious book came to be associated with esoteric practices in various cultures. The belief in magical books and sacred texts that grant supernatural powers became a recurring theme in many religious and occult traditions. However, the Book of Thoth remains one of the most revered references in this context. For many esoteric scholars, the Book of Thoth is more than a physical object. It represents the archetype of hidden knowledge, a repository of wisdom accessible only to those who are spiritually prepared. This idea fuels the fascination with the quest for the book, and its legend has been reinterpreted over the centuries, being integrated into various belief systems, such as Hermeticism and Freemasonry. Although there is no definitive evidence that the Book of Thoth ever existed as a physical object, its legend persists as a symbol of spiritual quest. The search for this book is often seen as a metaphor for the pursuit of self-knowledge and cosmic truth. In this sense, the Book of Thoth continues to inspire mystics, occultists, and seekers of wisdom around the world, representing humanity's desire to unravel the secrets of the universe. Thoth is one of the most complex deities in the Egyptian pantheon, playing multiple essential roles in the mythology and religion of ancient Egypt. He was known as the scribe of the gods, responsible for recording all celestial and earthly events, as well as serving as an arbiter in divine disputes. Thoth was also the god of the moon, and his control over time and lunar cycles was vital for Egyptian rituals and calendars. His influence extended to justice, knowledge, and magic, often associated with balance and cosmic order. Depicted with the head of an ibis, Thoth was considered the creator of writing, and his attributes included wisdom and communication between the gods and humans. Thoth's role as a mediator between the divine and human realms reinforced his central position in Egyptian life. He was also linked to the concept of Ma'at, the symbol of truth, justice, and cosmic harmony, which made him fundamental in the judgment of souls in the underworld. In addition to being the god of wisdom, Thoth was also the patron of sciences and magic. Egyptian priests frequently invoked him during their rituals and enchantments, seeking his guidance to perform spells and prayers. His connection to magic contributed to the belief that Thoth possessed the power to manipulate the forces of the universe, influencing both human destiny and cosmic balance. Thoth also played an important role in the underworld, assisting in the judgment of souls. He was present in the court of Osiris, where the soul of the deceased was weighed against the feather of Ma'at, symbolizing truth. Thoth carefully recorded the results of this judgment, determining whether the soul was worthy of entering eternal life. or would be devoured by the goddess Ammit. This role of Thoth as a judge and scribe in the afterlife reinforced his image as a deity of justice and cosmic order. The cult of Thoth was not limited to Egypt. He was revered by other civilizations, especially after the conquest of Egypt by Alexander the Great. The Greeks identified Thoth with Hermes, the Greek god of communication and knowledge, and from this fusion arose Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great, symbolizing the union of Egyptian wisdom and Greek philosophy. In Egyptian mythology, Thoth was seen as the maintainer of balance between the forces of creation and destruction. He was the god who established the laws that governed the universe and ensured that chaos did not prevail over order. His contributions to wisdom and mystical knowledge ensured that his name would be remembered for centuries, both in Egypt and in other cultures influenced by his story and power. The Book of Thoth is not just an ancient legend. Its legacy still persists today as a symbol of esoteric wisdom and hidden knowledge. According to the stories, the book contained deep secrets that could only be understood by those capable of transcending the limits of ordinary human knowledge. It was believed that the book granted incredible powers, such as foretelling the future, controlling nature, and even achieving spiritual immortality. This symbolism has transformed the Book of Thoth into an icon in mystical and occult traditions throughout history. Many secret societies and esoteric movements have been inspired by the myth of the Book of Thoth to shape their rituals and beliefs. For many, the book represents a source of power and enlightenment, accessible only to initiates, those who follow the path of inner wisdom. The fascination with esoteric knowledge promised by the Book of Thoth has attracted both scholars and mystics, creating an aura of mystery around its contents. Furthermore, the idea that this book could alter the fate of its possessor has made its legend even more powerful. The belief that the Book of Thoth might contain spells or enchantments deeply influenced magical and esoteric thought. Magic, in ancient traditions, was seen as a way to manipulate the invisible forces of the universe to achieve results in the material world. Thus, the book became a metaphor for acquiring this power. Various occult traditions, such as Hermetic magic and alchemy, incorporated concepts that refer to Thoth as the master of hidden knowledge. The Book of Thoth also had a significant influence on literature and Hermetic philosophy. During the Renaissance, many Hermetic philosophers saw the book as a symbol of lost divine knowledge that could be restored through mystical practice and study. The Corpus Hermeticum, attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, is an example of how Egyptian wisdom was reinterpreted by Western thinkers. These texts emphasize the role of man as an intermediary between the divine and the earthly, reflecting ideas associated with the Book of Thoth. The mystery surrounding the book also led to the creation of many apocryphal texts that claim to capture the essence of the original work. Over the centuries, compilations have emerged claiming to be adaptations or fragments of the Book of Thoth, but most of these versions are widely speculative and lack proof of authenticity. However, the cultural and esoteric impact of these works is undeniable, influencing both magical practice and mystical philosophies in various parts of the world. Today, the Book of Thoth continues to be one of the most debated and analyzed topics in the field of esotericism. Its supposed existence, or lack thereof, does not diminish the fascination it exerts on mystics, occultists, and spiritual seekers. The book represents not only a relic of lost knowledge, but also the human desire to access hidden truths, transcending physical and intellectual limitations to reach a state of spiritual enlightenment. One of the most notable influences attributed to the Book of Thoth is its relationship with the tarot, especially the major arcana. Some esoteric theories suggest that the tarot, in its original form, was a symbolic representation of the Book of Thoth, containing the same hidden secrets and esoteric wisdom. These cards were seen as keys to understanding the universe, allowing the practitioner to access deep spiritual truths through archetypal images. The tarot cards are composed of symbols that originate from various esoteric traditions, but some versions claim that their roots lie in ancient Egypt. Antoine Coeur de Gebelin was the first to suggest, in the 18th century, that the tarot was not just a deck of cards, but a codified form of ancient wisdom, with its images referring to the Book of Thoth. His theory influenced how the tarot would be understood in subsequent centuries, directly associating it with Egyptian esotericism. According to this theory, the 22 cards of the major arcana would represent the fundamental principles of the Book of Thoth. Each card would be a symbolic representation of the universe's hidden secrets, containing spiritual and metaphysical meanings that only the initiated could fully comprehend. The magician, the high priestess, and the Hierophant, for example, would represent central roles in Egyptian cosmology and Thoth's teachings, reinforcing the idea that the tarot is an extension of this god's wisdom. Additionally, the tarot has been reinterpreted over time, gaining new layers of meaning. In the 20th century, occultist Aleister Crowley created a tarot version called the Thoth Tarot, in which he sought to combine the esoteric symbolism of the tarot with his own mystical and magical visions. Crowley saw the tarot as a tool for accessing divine power, believing that through the tarot, one could directly connect to Thoth's ancestral wisdom. His deck became one of the most influential versions of modern tarot, carrying within it the tradition of the Book of Thoth. This association between the tarot and the Book of Thoth also led to the popularization of the tarot as a tool for divination. Although tarot was originally a card game, it gradually became a spiritual practice used to interpret the future and access hidden truths. The belief that tarot cards could predict an individual's destiny echoes the idea that the Book of Thoth contains spells capable of foreseeing the future, reinforcing the link between the two traditions. Today, tarot continues to be widely used in spiritual and esoteric practices, and its connection to the Book of Thoth, though contested, remains a fascinating possibility for many occultists. The deep symbolism contained in the cards, combined with their history and mystery, keeps alive the idea that tarot carries fragments of the esoteric wisdom that may have once been encoded in the legendary Book of Thoth. The Corpus Hermeticum is a collection of esoteric texts attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a mythical figure who was a fusion between the Egyptian god Thoth and the Greek god Hermes. These writings emerged during the Hellenistic era and were heavily influenced by Egyptian wisdom, especially the teachings of Thoth. The Corpus Hermeticum became one of the pillars of Hermeticism, a philosophical and mystical tradition that profoundly influenced Western thought, especially during the Renaissance. The texts of the Corpus Hermeticum are often considered a continuation or adaptation of Thoth's original teachings, preserving and transmitting the esoteric knowledge supposedly contained in the Book of Thoth. Although Hermetic writings are clearly influenced by Greek philosophy, they maintain a strong connection to Egyptian mysticism, addressing themes such as the immortality of the soul, the divine nature of man, and the unity between the divine and the cosmos. The creation of the Corpus Hermeticum is directly linked to the fusion of cultures that occurred after the conquest of Egypt by Alexander the Great. The Greeks, fascinated by Egypt's wisdom and mystical traditions, sought to integrate Egyptian teachings into their own philosophy. Hermes Trismegistus, as a symbol of this fusion, became the central figure of this movement, representing both the wisdom of the Egyptian god Thoth and the intellect of the Greek god Hermes. This union gave rise to one of the most influential esoteric traditions in the West. The Corpus Hermeticum addresses a wide range of mystical and philosophical topics, including the creation of the universe, the role of man in the cosmic order, and methods for achieving spiritual enlightenment. One of Hermeticism's central principles is the idea that human beings, as part of the divine universe, possess the potential to transcend material reality and achieve union with the divine. This concept strongly echoes the idea of Thoth as the master of hidden knowledge and cosmic balance. During the Renaissance, the Corpus Hermeticum was rediscovered and had a profound impact on European thought. Philosophers such as Marsilio Ficino and Giordano Bruno embraced Hermetic texts as a source of spiritual and esoteric wisdom. For them, Hermeticism offered an alternative to orthodox Christian thought, presenting a more optimistic and powerful view of humanity's role in the cosmos. This rediscovery fueled the flourishing of various esoteric schools of thought in Europe, which would continue to influence philosophy and spirituality in the following centuries. Hermeticism, through the Corpus Hermeticum, perpetuated Thoth's influence and teachings in the West. Although Hermetic texts are a Greek interpretation of Egyptian teachings, their influence on occultism, alchemy, and esoteric sciences is undeniable. Thoth's legacy, therefore, continued to live through this tradition, helping to shape mystical and philosophical thought for generations. The invasion of Egypt by Alexander the Great in 332 BC was a pivotal point for the dissemination of Egyptian culture throughout the Hellenistic world. The Greeks were fascinated by the wonders they found in Egypt, such as the pyramids, majestic temples, and enigmatic religious practices. Among the many aspects of Egyptian culture that attracted the Greeks' attention, the figure of Thoth, the god of wisdom, stood out, being identified with Hermes, the Greek god of knowledge and communication. This identification between Thoth and Hermes was not a mere superficial adaptation. For the Greeks, Thoth, like Hermes, symbolized the archetype of the god who mediated between worlds, the human and the divine, the visible and the invisible. The esoteric wisdom represented by Thoth was assimilated and reinterpreted within the Greek cultural context. The fusion of these two deities resulted in the creation of Hermes Trismegistus, or thrice great Hermes, who synthesized the qualities of both gods. Alexander the Great founded the city of Alexandria, which soon became one of the greatest learning centers of the ancient world. Alexandria housed the famous Library of Alexandria, where much of the ancient world's knowledge was preserved, including Egyptian writings. It was in this environment of cultural and intellectual exchange that the Corpus Hermeticum began to take shape, preserving and disseminating Thoth's ideas through philosophical and mystical texts that integrated Egyptian and Greek traditions. The city of Alexandria was also a meeting point for various religious and philosophical currents, such as Judaism, Christianity, and Platonism. In this melting pot of ideas, Egyptian wisdom, symbolized by Thoth, found new audiences and forms of expression. Egyptian cosmology, with its rich spiritual symbolism, began to influence the development of Greek esotericism and, later, Roman esotericism. The very idea that human beings can transcend their physical existence and achieve divine enlightenment has its roots in ancient Egyptian traditions linked to Thoth. Moreover, the fusion of Thoth with Hermes also had a lasting impact on the practice of magic and alchemy. Many Hermetic texts, such as the Corpus Hermeticum, were treated as manuals of magic, teaching their adepts how to manipulate the forces of nature and achieve divine wisdom. Alchemy, which flourished in the following centuries, owes much to the wisdom transmitted by these texts, which were influenced by the Egyptian traditions associated with Thoth. The fusion of Egyptian and Greek cultures allowed Thoth's esoteric wisdom to spread throughout the Western world. Alexander's legacy, though largely military, also brought a lasting cultural contribution by facilitating the exchange of ideas that would shape esoteric thought for centuries. Thoth, through Hermes Trismegistus, became a central figure in the occultism and mystical philosophy of the Hellenistic and Renaissance worlds, perpetuating the influence of Egyptian wisdom in the West. During the Renaissance, between the 14th and 16th centuries, Europe underwent a cultural and intellectual revival, in which ancient ideas and forgotten knowledge were rediscovered and reinterpreted. In this context, the Corpus Hermeticum, a collection of philosophical texts attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, played a fundamental role. These writings, translated into Latin, brought a combination of Greek and Egyptian wisdom, and many Renaissance thinkers saw them as a lost link to ancient knowledge. The rediscovery of the Corpus Hermeticum in Italy in the mid-15th century had a great impact on the philosophy and spirituality of the time. The work was translated from Greek into Latin by Marsilio Ficino, one of the most prominent Renaissance intellectuals, at the request of Cosimo de' Medici, ruler of Florence. The Corpus Hermeticum was enthusiastically received, as it offered an exalted view of humanity's position in the universe, affirming that human beings were not fallen creatures, but participants in divinity. These Hermetic texts were seen as a revelation of ancient wisdom, directly linked to Egyptian mythology and the knowledge of Thoth, the god of wisdom and writing. The impact of this thought was profound, as it proposed that human beings could use their minds and spiritual faculties to rise to the status of co-creator with God. This contrasted with the traditional church view, which portrayed humanity as sinful and fallen. The Corpus Hermeticum offered a new perspective on human potential. Renaissance philosophers, inspired by Hermeticism, believed that spiritual knowledge, lost since antiquity, could be rediscovered and restored. The idea that humanity could achieve enlightenment through the study of nature and mystical practice fit the Renaissance spirit, which sought a return to the sources of ancient wisdom. It was believed that by restoring the knowledge contained in the Corpus Hermeticum, humanity could once again live in harmony with the cosmos. In addition to influencing philosophy and spirituality, the Corpus Hermeticum also had a significant impact on science and the arts. Many Renaissance scholars, such as Giordano Bruno and Johannes Kepler, were influenced by Hermetic texts in their explorations of the nature of the universe. Hermeticism advocated the idea that the cosmos was a living and divine organism, and that human beings, as part of this organism, could understand and manipulate it through science and alchemy. Thus, the Corpus Hermeticum helped shape the Renaissance mindset, offering a more optimistic view of humanity and its role in the universe. The wisdom of Thoth, transmitted through Hermetic texts, resurged with full force, and its influence continued to grow in the following centuries, especially among occultists, alchemists, and esoteric scholars. Freemasonry, one of the most influential and ancient secret societies in history, has its roots in esoteric traditions that date back to ancient civilizations, including Egypt. Many scholars assert that Freemasonry incorporated Egyptian symbols and rituals into its practices, especially the concept of symbolic death and rebirth, which is closely linked to the legacy of Thoth. The Masonic initiation ritual is a spiritual journey that reflects the idea of rebirth and transformation, central concepts in Egyptian wisdom. The symbolism of death and rebirth in Freemasonry is closely related to Hermetic philosophy, which in turn was influenced by the teachings of Thoth. In the initiation ritual, the candidate undergoes a symbolic death, representing the end of their previous life and the preparation for a rebirth as a new, wiser, and spiritually evolved being. This process of transformation is seen as a purification, allowing the initiate to access deeper levels of knowledge and wisdom. Freemasonry adopted many symbols that refer to Egyptian wisdom, such as the all-seeing eye, pyramids, sphinxes, and other emblems that represent divine power and hidden knowledge. Furthermore, the use of sacred geometry, central to Egyptian architecture, and Thoth's teachings, is fundamental to Masonic practices. The construction of temples and the use of geometric symbols reflect the Hermetic understanding that the universe is divinely ordered and structured, and that man, as an apprentice of Thoth, must seek this order. Another important aspect of the Masonic ritual is the quest for spiritual enlightenment, which aligns with Thoth's role as the god of knowledge and writing. Freemasons believe that by undergoing the process of symbolic death and rebirth, the initiate comes closer to divine wisdom, which is revealed gradually, just as the secrets of the universe were revealed to Egyptian priests. This process of gradual learning is seen as a spiritual journey, where each step ascended brings the initiate closer to cosmic truth. The connection between Freemasonry and Thoth can also be found in the Hermetic texts and teachings that influenced the creation of many Masonic rituals. Hermes Trismegistus, the fusion of Thoth and Hermes, is considered one of the main figures of inspiration for Freemasons. Hermetic teachings, transmitted through the Corpus Hermeticum, emphasize the importance of self-knowledge and spiritual development, elements that are at the heart of Masonic rituals. Thus, Freemasonry, through its rituals of death and rebirth, perpetuates the tradition of Thoth and Egyptian esoteric symbolism. These rituals not only honor ancient wisdom, but also provide initiates with a spiritual journey of self-transformation. Just as Thoth guided souls in the underworld, Masonic rituals aim to guide men toward a new life of wisdom, justice, and spiritual balance. Antoine Coeur de Gebelin, a Franco-Swiss scholar from the 18th century, played a key role in spreading the idea that the tarot was not simply a deck of cards, but a repository of ancient wisdom, closely linked to the legendary Book of Thoth. In his monumental work, Le Monde Primitif, published in 1781, Gebelin proposed the hypothesis that the tarot was a symbolic representation of the ancient Egyptian mysteries, and that its images and symbols were, in fact, inheritances of the hidden knowledge transmitted by the god Thoth. According to Gebelin, the tarot cards contained encrypted wisdom, intended to be unveiled by initiates. He saw the 22 cards of the major arcana as representations of universal principles, which, when understood, could reveal the secrets of the universe. For him, the tarot was not just a tool for predictions, but a means of accessing the spiritual mysteries that dated back to the time of Thoth. This revolutionary idea transformed the tarot into an object of fascination for the occultists and mystics of the time. Coeur de Gebelin's thesis was widely accepted by occultists in Europe, especially in France. He believed that the tarot cards had been created by Egyptian priests, and that somehow, this knowledge had survived the centuries and been preserved in the form of a card deck. For Gebelin, the tarot was the Book of Thoth in disguise, an esoteric book whose secrets could be unveiled by those who understood the mystical symbolism of its images. Although Coeur de Gebelin had no access to real Egyptian hieroglyphs, since they had not yet been deciphered in his time, he was convinced that the tarot contained the essence of Hermetic knowledge. His interpretation led to a re-evaluation of the tarot as a mystical and esoteric tool, increasingly used in divination rituals and occult practices. This vision persisted and was expanded by other occultists who followed him, such as Jean-Baptiste Alliette, Thelema, and Aleister Crowley. Furthermore, Coeur de Gebelin associated the etymology of the word tarot with Egyptian, suggesting that tar meant path and ro referred to royal, creating the idea that the tarot was the royal path to knowledge. Although this etymology is questioned today, it significantly influenced how the tarot would be perceived in the following centuries. The mysticism and aura of mystery around the tarot were greatly amplified thanks to Gebelin's theories. Even with the absence of archaeological evidence directly supporting Court de Gebelin's claims, his work remains one of the most influential in constructing the esoteric image of the tarot as a direct legacy of the Book of Thoth. His innovative vision opened doors to a vast symbolic exploration of the tarot, and his interpretation continues to shape how many modern practitioners understand the deck and its connections to ancient Egyptian wisdom. Aleister Crowley, one of the most controversial and influential figures in modern occultism, brought a new interpretation to the myth of the Book of Thoth, directly associating it with the tarot and his mystical philosophy called Thelema. Crowley, who lived between the 19th and 20th centuries, believed that he had received direct revelations from Egyptian gods during his stay in Cairo in 1904, culminating in the creation of what he called the Book of the Law. This text, which he claimed was dictated by a spiritual entity named Iwas, served as the basis for his spiritual and philosophical system. Crowley saw the Book of Thoth as a symbol of mystical wisdom, and inspired by the figure of Thoth, he developed his own version of the tarot, known as the Thoth Tarot. This deck was created in collaboration with artist Lady Frida Harris, and its cards were a fusion of Egyptian, Hermetic, and occultist symbolism. For Crowley, the Thoth Tarot represented a modern version of the Book of Thoth, capable of revealing the universe's secrets through visual and spiritual symbols. Crowley's Thoth Tarot stood out for its symbolic complexity. Each card was a representation of deep mystical concepts, mixing elements of Kabbalah, astrology, numerology, and alchemy. Crowley believed that these cards contained the power to channel Thoth's wisdom, revealing hidden spiritual truths to those who knew how to interpret them correctly. He saw the tarot as a magical tool, not only for divination, but also for spiritual self-transformation. In addition to his work with the tarot, Crowley founded the philosophy of Thelema, whose principles were drawn from the Book of the Law, dictated to him in Egypt. The main commandment of his philosophy was, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law," emphasizing the concept of true will, that is, the pursuit of living according to each individual's divine purpose. For Crowley, the Thoth Tarot was a tool that helped individuals understand and realize their true will, connecting them to divine power. Crowley also viewed the tarot as a bridge between the conscious and unconscious, capable of revealing a person's hidden desires and motivations. He believed that by using Thoth's cards, the practitioner could align with cosmic forces and gain a deeper understanding of themselves and the universe. Crowley's vision of the tarot, although radical in many aspects, cemented his reputation as an innovator in the field of occultism, and his deck remains one of the most popular and revered in the esoteric world. Aleister Crowley's legacy in modern occultism is undeniable. His interpretation of the Book of Thoth as a mystical tool for self-transformation, and his vision of the tarot as a symbolic language connecting man to the divine, continues to inspire practitioners of magic and esotericism. Crowley's influence, despite being controversial, remains alive in contemporary occult practices, and his version of the Book of Thoth has become a cultural and spiritual icon in the 20th century. Archaeological discoveries made in Egypt in recent decades have shed new light on the mysteries of the Book of Thoth and its role in ancient Egyptian civilization. Among these discoveries are numerous papyri and funerary texts that mention Thoth and his teachings. Although a physical version of the legendary Book of Thoth has yet to be found, archaeologists and historians have uncovered texts that refer to the esoteric knowledge and magic associated with this god. These texts, written in hieroglyphs and demotic, a later form of Egyptian writing, reveal that Thoth played a central role in Egyptian mythology as the god of knowledge, writing, and magic. Many of the papyri found mention rituals and spells used by Egyptian priests to communicate with the gods and perform spells. Although these documents are not explicitly the Book of Thoth, they provide valuable clues as to how the ancient Egyptians viewed Thoth's role as the guardian of hidden knowledge. Among the most important discoveries are funerary texts such as the Book of the Dead, which includes spells and incantations attributed to Thoth. These spells were used to guide souls in the afterlife and ensure a safe transition to the afterlife. Thoth's presence in these texts reinforces his importance as a god of wisdom and magic, whose function was to help the dead navigate the underworld and face divine judgment. This suggests that the esoteric knowledge attributed to Thoth was closely linked to the idea of the afterlife and spiritual immortality. In addition to the Book of the Dead, other papyri reveal the importance of magic and healing in daily life in ancient Egypt. Many spells were used for protection against diseases, curses, and misfortunes. These texts reveal that the concept of magic in ancient Egypt was not seen as something supernatural or malevolent, but as a natural tool for maintaining balance and harmony between the spiritual and material worlds. Thoth, as the god of magic, was at the center of this practice, being seen as the master who had transmitted these abilities to humans. A particularly fascinating discovery was the Rosetta Stone, which helped decipher Egyptian hieroglyphs in the 19th century. Thanks to this stone, which contained the same text in Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphs, scholars were able to understand the sacred language of the Egyptians, opening a new era of discoveries about their culture and religion. This included a better understanding of texts attributed to Thoth and how he was revered as the god of writing and wisdom. Although the true Book of Thoth, as described in legends, has yet to be found, archaeological discoveries have allowed scholars to reconstruct a more accurate picture of Thoth's role in ancient Egypt and the importance of esoteric knowledge in its culture. These findings continue to fuel the fascination with the Book of Thoth and the mystical practices of the Egyptians, suggesting that the quest for this ancient knowledge is far from over. Even today, the fascination with the Book of Thoth remains strong among esoteric scholars, occultists, and those curious about ancient spirituality. The idea that a mystical book containing cosmic secrets and powerful magic could exist still provokes debates and inspires quests. Although there is no concrete evidence of the physical existence of the Book of Thoth, it continues to be a powerful metaphor for the human quest for hidden knowledge and the understanding of the universe's mysteries. Part of the contemporary appeal of the Book of Thoth lies in its connection to the Hermetic tradition and the principles of Hermeticism. For many modern mystics, Thoth represents the archetype of the sage and initiator, the one who holds the knowledge of the hidden laws of the cosmos and can guide human beings toward spiritual enlightenment. Thoth's legacy, through Hermes Trismegistus, continues to influence occultists and those who seek self-knowledge through mystical arts. The Thoth Tarot, created by Aleister Crowley, is another example of how the fascination with the Book of Thoth continues to grow in contemporary culture. Many occultists consider this deck one of the most accurate and powerful representations of Hermetic principles. For those who use the tarot as a tool for divination or self-knowledge, the Thoth Tarot is seen as a way to access the profound and mysterious teachings attributed to the legendary book. Furthermore, the Book of Thoth has been widely adopted in popular culture, especially in films, books, and games that explore themes of magic, mystery, and ancient wisdom. The image of Thoth as the god of knowledge and magic often appears as a symbol of mystery and power. This use of the Book of Thoth in popular media reflects society's continued desire to connect with ancient mysteries and seek answers beyond the physical and rational world. The fascination with the Book of Thoth is also reflected in the various interpretations and versions that have emerged over the centuries, from Court de Gebelin's version, which associated the tarot with the Book of Thoth, to Aleister Crowley's efforts to reimagine the book as a deck of mystical cards. The legend of the Book of Thoth has been constantly adapted and reinterpreted by different generations. Each of these versions keeps alive the idea that ancient and hidden knowledge can be recovered and understood by those who sincerely seek the truth. Finally, the Book of Thoth, whether a metaphor or a lost reality, continues to represent humanity's desire to explore the unknown, to unravel the secrets of the cosmos, and to find its true place in the universe. For modern mystics, the book is a symbol of the human potential to transcend physical limitations and achieve a deeper connection with the divine. It is an invitation to continue the quest for knowledge, truth, and self-discovery, elements that, like Thoth himself, transcend time and cultural boundaries.